Hello everyone, Michelle with Michelle Mould Art, and today I just wanted to show you how I've put some more of the beautiful, stunning Michael Harding watercolour paints into a palette, which is the Barry Herneman's Cloverleaf paint box. I was using it with some other colours in, but I've decided to put these colours in it now, so I had to give it a bit of a clean out. It's come fairly clean, but you can see that there is some staining where I was using some staining colours before. When you're using a palette like this and squeezing your tubes in, something that I have found and learnt from my previous experience is not to use paints that are honey based, because they don't seem to set very well and they do seem to run into each other and all over the place and make a huge mess. I had the same thing with another travel palette, and it was a bit of a disappointment when I opened it and got to my location. So try to use some paints that are going to harden up quite nicely, but re-wet easily, and the Michael Harding paints do that perfectly for me. So that's why I've filled it with the Michael Harding paints. For those of you that don't know this palette, let me just see if I can lift this out. There we go, making a mess. There. So this is the part that comes out, and you can actually buy more of these from the company itself, which means that you can choose which of these you put into the outer shell. So I'm just going to pop that back in there again and find a tissue for my hand. And then I will show you the rest of the palette. Oh, that was my gorgeous Perylene green there. Never mind. So the palette folds away with this flat surface, which I'll just move up. This flat surface here, which has got a cloverleaf pattern on it. And you can use that for mixing, but that's the bit that goes in first. And then you've got these two wells either side. They're quite deep to mix colours in, and they go like so. And you could also use this the top of the lid for some more mixing if you wanted, but I like to keep my little swatch card so that I know which colours are where in my palette. So that for me just fits in there. It closes up, and then there we have it, this wonderful little paint box. So I think other people have done reviews on this in any case. So what I'm going to do is just do a little painting for you with my newly planned out palette and my Michael Harding colours in there. Actually, let's put that side. Bring this forward. This is a Stillman and Byrne Beta series sketchbook. It's not actually watercolour paper, but it does hold the watercolour fairly well. Obviously, try not to put too much heavy wet washes on there. Let's see if I can grab a couple of brushes. So the brushes that I'm going to use today are my Van Gogh 8. I really like these Van Gogh brushes, and this is a Craftmo size 10. Both round brushes, and I'm just going to do a little picture. Let's find some water. Bring some water in. I have already lightly sketched this out, but let's just see how this works. Let's find a little rest for my paint brushes. There we go. And an old rag, that will do. And let me just check that this is all in shot. Yep, we're all in shot. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to start by doing a sky, and I think I'm going to use some of this cosmic blue to do my sky with. So this is just going to be a real quickie, and I realise I'm at a funny angle, so we'll see how we go. But I just want to get a bit of a sky down. I'm not bothered that there's going to be some trees, because to be honest, I think that trees, depending on the light, can have a bit of blue in them anyway. So this is the Michael Harding Cosmic Blue that I'm just using to do a bit of a sky in the background there. And then we will just add a little bit of that blue, showing this kind of hill here. I'm going to leave some of this white, so I'm not going to be covering all of it. I'm just adding a real light touch of colour. I'm leaving quite a bit of the light there. Let's just add a bit more down here near our fox though, to give a bit of contrast there, and to kind of match the sky a little bit. There we go. So whilst that is drying, let's see if we can get a little bit of colour in for our fox, and maybe we'll use a bit of this Quin Gold. I may need to make that a bit darker, avoiding the ears. I might add a little bit of sepia into that. Do a little bit of the brown in, still trying to keep that kind of reddy colour. And then I think maybe we will go with the sepia. But I've watered that down quite a bit there. And I'm not bothered if it runs into each other, because it's something that I hope will be a bit more realistic. So let's just see if we can get our ears in here. Ooh, and we're running a bit. All good. And then we'll add that in there. There we go. We'll just, I think the pages on this book are bending over a bit. I'm getting near the end of the sketchbook. Let me just see what you can see. Are we still... yeah, we're still in view. Okay, how dry is that? It's not too bad. So maybe we'll have a go at popping some of these trees in the background in. I don't mind if they go a bit fuzzy. So I'm going to use the sepia and the cosmic blue mixed together, because they're in the background, and things that are in the background tend to be a little bit more muted and sort of purpley bluey colour, although what I've mixed is quite a grey colour, but we will go with it. And we will add in some of these background trees, and we'll just so I'm not being too careful because these are just in the background there. Now, how smudgy is that? Let's just want to ground the trees a bit by using a bit of a damp brush. Which should just help to blend them into the background a little bit. Okay, now let's use a stronger mix of that sepia to get some of these bigger trees in. Let's see if I can do this without getting my hand in my paint box. Okay. Got another one there. So because these are a bit more forward than the other ones, I'm making them a bit more of a warmer colour. I think I might add a little bit of blue into them in a moment. Let's just get this other tree in. I feel like I'm painting at a really weird angle, but hopefully it won't be too bad when I've finished with it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of indigo into these trees to give them so that they're not all looking so one coloured and flat's the word I'm looking for. I'm just going to add a little bit of the indigo into that to give some, well, that's come out quite nicely. I quite like that effect there. Okay, so we've got those in. Perhaps we can go back to our ears now. Do I need a smaller brush? I'm just going to grab, what kind of brush is this? Oh, it says Icon. Oh, let's try and get that into, oh, there we go. Oh no, lost it again. It's an Icon 4, size 4 anyway. And I'm just going to do the rest of those ears now. I might just add a tiny touch to the brown sepia of the Scarlet Lake Light, just very watered down the inside of that ear. And then we'll go back to our sepia. Let's see if we can get the nose in. Okay. And then the rest I think I'm going to do with my fountain pen or a fine liner. So I need that to be quite dry in order for me to do that. So let's just move those paints out the way a moment. What have we got? We've got a fine liner graphics pen, and this is, where is it, 0.2. So I think that we will use that, and we can maybe start with just getting a little bit of detail around this ear. I don't want anything to be too, I just want it to be quite loose, really. Get a bit of an eye in here. There we go. Shall I go around that? Maybe. There we go. I'm not going to do anything more to him, but let's see what we can do with some of these trees now and get some interesting little scribbledy marks in to give them some more definition and a bit of texture. So you can see I'm really not being particularly precious. I'm just doing a bit of mark making, really. I'm not even sure what you would call this. And in fact, where the paint is not quite dry in places, it's actually leaving some white marks, which is fine. Okay. Ooh, I'm so used to turning my, and now what I want to do is add in just something that grounds these trees a little bit more. So let's scribble in some grass around the bottom, or vegetation, whatever you want to call it, around the bottom of these trees, and maybe some on these kind of humpy bits. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to keep that really, really simple. So hopefully you can see that, and if I bring it up closer, you can see all the lovely watermarks and paint marks, pen marks that have really added to those trees. And yeah, just keeping the majority of the rest of it white has really helped, I think. So there we go. That's me using my Michael Harding watercolours in my, what was it called? Barry Herneman's Cloverleaf paint box. And I'm looking forward to getting some more of the inserts so that I can perhaps have several different palettes with different combinations in, and just move those about. But so far I'm really pleased with this palette, and I'm really pleased with these paints. There we go. Satisfying click. That's it for today, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed that, and yeah, see you again next time.